Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today. And though you've come through many obstacles.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to episode 5 of The Ghost and Molly McGee. So, yeah. I really love what they're doing with this show. Last episode was great, bringing back in Libby and Andrea. The expressions are amazing. I love that so much. And I'm just really enjoying it. Like, it has so much potential, yes, but just in the now, I'm very much just enjoying it for what it is. And I think it's handling its episodic nature at the moment really, really well. It feels so endearing. All the characters are fantastic. The stories are great. I can't wait to see what continues to happen as this goes on. So, and honestly, someone, I forget exactly who it was, but someone mentioned in the comments that this could definitely be seen as a comfort show. And, like, yeah, honestly. At this point, I would gladly say this is a comfort show. Up there with the likes of the Owl House for me. I'm definitely going to have to see more to truly, like, grasp on where I would rank it in terms of other shows and whatnot. But I could definitely refer to it as a comfort show. It makes me feel happy when I watch it. It gives me warm fuzzies. But yeah, I'm just really excited to see what we got in this episode, so we're going to get on with it. When the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, don't get used to that. Don't get used to me doing multiple episodes of this show. That was a one-time thing, and it's just, I just really wanted to continue. I don't know. It's not something I'm going to keep doing. It was just this one time. We'll continue with one episode each after this. But yeah, some good stuff there. Some good stuff for sure. Trying to remember everything here for both episodes, though. That's the tricky part. Give me a second. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So episode 5. I actually had to remember what what happened in episode 5 because I was more focused on episode 6 recently. So the first half of episode 5 focuses on Molly doing these reports. She's helping her other students with reports on this history day kind of thing. They're doing reports on these famous people from history, and Molly is led to realize, thanks to Scratch, that she hasn't even started her own. So she decides she wants to do it on Abraham Lincoln, but upon doing research, she finds out there's just too much information for her to really cut it down enough for her liking. So she asks Scratch for help, him having said he knows Abraham Lincoln, and he lies to her. He brings in his friend Jeff, who we had met previously, to pretend to be Abe Lincoln, and of course her report goes pretty poorly because of it, because Jeff gives her all the wrong information, and her teacher does not appreciate that. However, Scratch realizes he made a mistake, and because he cares for Molly so much, he goes to try and fix it. He breaks into this club that Abraham Lincoln's ghost is in, and convinces him to help out. They help Molly out. She fixes things. She puts on this song number about Abraham Lincoln. It's really catchy, actually. And yeah, this mini-sode, this half of episode 5, was pretty good. Not my favorite of the series so far. Because let's be honest, it's oversimplifying a lot. And yeah, I understand. It's a cartoon marketed towards children. I get it. But one, Abraham Lincoln wasn't as perfect as they're kind of making it seem in regards to the entire slavery issue and a lot of other stuff. No president has been perfect. No president will ever be perfect. And that includes Abe Lincoln. He definitely had issues. Then there is the entire thing about just Jeff. I'll just being honest, I think Jeff is kind of weak. Like he's not that entertaining. The entire goofy, dumb sidekick character thing doesn't entertain me. I don't get the appeal in it. So it's just, he feels like the weakest part of this show so far. But then there's the second half, which is all about Grandma Nin and their mother, Molly's mother. So Molly invites Grandma Nin to visit because she's wanted to visit for a while to see her grandchildren since they moved. And Molly's mom has an issue with this. We see as Grandma Nin arrives that her and Molly's mom don't get along too well, and that there's clearly some resentments there. Nin brings gifts for everyone except Molly's mom, and Molly just is trying to reunite them. Even going so far to plan a wedding because she thinks that the reason they're upset with each other is because Molly's parents eloped. And so we find out that the real reason was because of a misunderstanding. Molly's mom thought that her mother, Grandma Nin, was upset at her for going to art school instead of finishing, a more prestigious degree, I guess you could say. But Grandma Nin reveals it's like, no, it's because you didn't finish art school. You're a talented artist, and I wanted to see you succeed at it, but you stopped. And so that was Grandma Nin's issue. That her daughter gave up on her dreams, and so she kind of resented her because of it. And it caused their entire issue to form. And yeah, it was very obvious it was going to be a misunderstanding, but this episode was cute, and it's like, yeah, of course, we've seen this kind of thing before. We've seen the kind of stories before where it's like, yeah, of course, we know what's going to happen. Where, like, two family members are arguing, it's a misunderstanding, and in the end, they reunite and just become close again. That's all well and good. It's not a bad trope, but it's very much a trope. And it very much feels tropey as well. So my issue with it isn't anything that it necessarily did wrong. I actually think it did it very well. There was a lot of great humor in it, especially with the durian. I love that. and Grandma Nin is a delight. So it's just my issue that because of what the trope is, it feels tropey. And because of that, it's just, It wasn't bad. This was probably the weakest episode of the show so far for me. But in saying that, it was not bad by any means. It was still very good. It was still very entertaining. I still enjoyed it. But yeah, I'm just saying it was the weakest of the show for me so far. But that's like saying that, I don't know, as just another example, that's like saying that the episode where Mabel tries to get into business is the worst episode of Gravity Falls. It's like, yes, but the worst episode of Gravity Falls is still damn good because Gravity Falls is damn good. It's like it's still high quality, but it's just not as high quality as the rest of the show. And then we had episode 6, which was, in my opinion, superior in every way to episode 5. And honestly, my favorite episode of the show so far. Like, without question. And it's mostly due to the first half of it, which I will get to, but I'm actually going to talk about the second minisode first. I know that's a little weird and out of order, but I want to end off talking about the first half of episode 6. So the second half, Daryl is getting in trouble because shenanigans. He's causing shenanigans. He's causing trouble. He's being a bit destructive. Actually, very destructive, considering that cart exploded for some reason. Still don't know why it did that. Like, why the explosion? It's just why? How? But he gets in trouble, and he clearly wants to change. So Molly decides to teach him how to be nice because, you know, she never gets in trouble. So she's trying to teach him how to be better about things. And her lessons aren't inherently bad or anything, they're just very simplistic. Unfortunately, Daryl takes them the wrong way and ends up sending the teachers to prison, which causes a bit of chaos. And so they have to go and try to break them out, but in the end, they don't do anything, and the teachers end up breaking themselves out in a way that's similar to Shawshank Redemption at first, with, you know, digging the hole through the wall underneath the poster. That's very Shawshank Redemption. But then they also copy Daryl and ride the cart out to escape, which is all kinds of interesting and fun. And in the end, Daryl just kind of takes it to mean, like, I should just not try to change who I am. I should just be who I am, embrace that, and not try to change for anybody. And it's like, that's a great lesson, but that is a wrong application of that lesson. And I'm talking like, yeah, it's obviously meant to be. That's the point. I'm not saying like it's a bad thing with this episode. I'm just saying like that's the wrong application, because it is, and the episode makes it clear that that's the wrong application. There's some great humor, and apparently, like, I didn't realize at least one of the teachers has a pretty notable voice. Actually, a couple of them do. Let me see if I can get to the voices here again real quick. Here we go. Miss Roop, who I think is the larger one with the who talked about her wife. I think, yeah, because Miss Lightfoot is the thinner woman. But Miss Roop is voiced by Jane Lynch, like from Glee fame, from Wreck-It Ralph, like that Jane Lynch. And it's like, oh, that's cool. I've always liked Jane Lynch. I think she's really fucking funny. She's a great actress. She does a great job in pretty much everything I've seen her in. Mr. Bates is Diedrich Bader. He's the male teacher there. Diedrich Bader, I know he's been in other stuff, but I know him from Napoleon Dynamite. He's Rex from Rex Kwon-Do. I will never forget that. I love Napoleon Dynamite. I'm not afraid to say it. But yeah, that's where I know him from. And Miss Lightfoot is Julia Jones, who I also recognize the name of. But that's interesting too. Um, and then we have some other big names in here, specifically Libby's Aunt Meg and Uncle Ted in the episode that I'm about to talk about here. Um, Aunt Meg is voiced by Tara Strong, like the Tara Strong, who also voices Joshua, who I think was Libby's cousin, I want to say. Um, and then Uncle Ted is Yuri Lowenthal. Like, yeah, two big name voice actors there. So that's really, really cool. And let's talk about the first half of episode 6 now. Because it's without a doubt the reason why episode 6 is my favorite. The second half was great too, mind you, but definitely the first half is my is the reason why it's my favorite episode, and it's just in general my favorite mini-sode of the series so far. I've made it no secret that Libby is my favorite character. Like, I've made that clear. um, and I also mentioned before that there was something I found out about Libby, um, having seen a screenshot on Twitter. I meant, or I didn't mention it was about Libby, but I mentioned there was something I found out because I saw a screenshot on Twitter and everything about something that happens in the future. And I will say now that it does involve Libby. But what I saw the screenshot of actually hasn't appeared yet. But I will say it did tell me one important fact about her that I don't think was brought up ever before in previous episodes, and that is that Libby is Jewish. And so getting to have this episode completely celebrate that with her having her bat mitzvah is fantastic. And like this episode goes full into the celebration. Like just going into all the different kinds of traditions and ideas and stuff. And it never once like tries to make it seem weird or unusual or anything. There's a lot of shows in like the past that would do stuff like that. Like, oh, that's like you're celebrating Hanukkah instead of Christmas. That's weird. What's that all about? Even if it was mostly positive in its portrayal, it would oftentimes showcase it as the weird alternative or something because Christmas is so widespread. But this, it just, Molly accepts it instantly with no hesitation. She's super supportive of it and tries to give, even if her actions are a little off, are wrong because of trying to force something, she does try to give Libby the best bat mitzvah she can. The intentions are amazing, and it's fantastic to see Molly's character do this for her. But the issue is that Libby's very shy and timid. She's very much not outgoing and not the most brave or just personable type of person. So she wanted her bat mitzvah to be small, to be more intimate and close. And so because of this, she had it just relegated to her family and her best friend, Molly. And that's all she wanted. She wanted a turtle theme because she likes turtles, which completely fair, turtles are cool. And she just wanted it to be something simple. And instead, Molly tried to force on her what she wanted, what she thought this bat mitzvah should be. And that's horrible. And I feel so bad for Libby having to go through it, especially with the chair. Like, she tells, like, Molly straight to her face, it's like, oh no, heights and being lifted up are like two of my biggest anxieties. And Molly is like, oh, we're doing this. And it's like, oh my God, no, that's not okay. I felt so fucking bad for her. Like, again, the intentions were nice, but you're doing something she doesn't want. And that's not okay. Um but in the end, Molly realizes this, and with some help from Scratch manages to put things right. I think the biggest reasons why I love this so much was not only because of the Libby focus, but also because of the extremely positive representation for Jewish people and celebrations within the Jewish community. I think that's amazing and something that really should be just explored more in animation. Like, we shouldn't just automatically have Christmas as the norm, as the just standard. We should show other holidays. And this is not by any means the first cartoon to show Hanukkah or anything, any kind of celebration like that. I mean, Rugrats did so. Obviously, this is not Hanukkah here, but I'm just saying it's not the first show to show like stuff like this. But I was using Hanukkah and the holidays as an example just because it's on my mind with it being the holidays and all. Um, but for any of these kinds of celebrations, to show it with this much care and clear like respect is awesome. These kinds of celebrations, like bar and bat mitzvahs, are important for the Jewish faith and community. And to showcase this with such like genuine sincerity and care is wonderful. And I really love it. Not to mention, it had a great lesson and really, really fucking endeared me to Libby even more. Like, God, seeing her so, like, freaked out by everything, seeing her, like, scared and whatnot, and just not comfortable, and even just expanding upon her with, like, explaining that she has a love for turtles and stuff. Everything about her in this episode endeared me to her so much more. Like, she is just so likable and relatable for me because of my own security issues and just shyness and reservedness and all. I connect with her. I relate to her. And it makes me feel good. Kind of going in line with this, that this show is a comfort show to me, but it makes me feel good to have a character that I can connect to like that here. And even though I'm not Jewish personally, it's like I still can connect to her in so many ways through this. Hell, even love of turtles. It's like, turtles are awesome. You kidding me? And I just like getting endeared to her even more through this and caring about her so much as a character. So I really loved that. And again, it was really entertaining. It was good to watch. It had a great lesson. It was really great in terms of representation for Jewish people and their celebrations. It was just an overall phenomenally done episode. I loved practically everything about it. And yeah, I'm really just hyped over it. So, tell me in the comments, what did you think of these two episodes? And once again, this will not be a normal thing. I'm not going to start doing multiple episodes, and there's not even that many episodes left anyway. So, we're going to continue with one episode a week from here. And so, hopefully, it all works out. But I hope you have enjoyed. Like I said, tell me your thoughts down below. And for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.